Good afternoon, good evening. This is Darren and Julia with the Mental Minute Baltimore. How are you, Julia?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing very good. And Mental Minute Baltimore is something that me and Julia started at the beginning of the pandemic, just here for the community. And some of you might not know, I'm sure a lot of you do, but Julia is a clinical therapist with a specialty in trauma and addiction. She recently published her first book, Crossing Paths, the intersection of trauma and addiction. Go out and get your copy. But also, she has her own practice that's fully staffed, that's here for the community. And we get questions in every day. And the question that we're going to ask Julia today is, Julia, how can I be thankful during a difficult season?
That's a great question. And I think this time of year, most people expect it to be wonderful and great, and we celebrate a lot. And yet it's still hard for a lot of people for a lot of different reasons. And so I think one of the first things I would say is put it in writing. Write down on a paper what you're grateful for. What do you have to be thankful for? Sometimes in the midst of all of this pain and suffering, we don't always remember that there are still moments of happiness. And so let's write that out. Let's see what that is. Another thing would be to kind of create rituals to support you during this season. So what do you need in order to feel good? What rituals can help you? Would it be going out, going ice skating by yourself, or finding friends and getting coffee or something like that? Another thing would be noticing all of the small things and making a list of kind of like what you have instead of what you don't have, or instead of what you're missing. So again, taking time to notice those smaller things and notice what is going well in the midst of everything else that might be going wrong. And finally, I would say maybe like writing thank you notes to people who have helped you along the way, or who have been there for you. It's amazing how us being positive and being grateful can then kind of come back and make us feel better about what's going on. And the last thing I would say is maybe focusing on your health, both mental and physical health, and really finding ways to kind of stay healthy throughout the whole season.
Thank you very much for that, Julia. And also, I maybe give a suggestion. And what are your thoughts on serving? If you find it difficult during the holiday season, there's a lot of opportunities, whether it's serving at a food bank, homeless shelter, a mentorship program. I noticed that for me in the times in my life that where if I felt down or something on holidays, it was always lifted me up, just being around helping and serving other people. Can you maybe elaborate a little bit on that, Julia?
Absolutely. That kind of goes with being aware of noticing the small things and making little things. Giving the idea of giving back, it goes along with gratitude, because when we're able to give back and receive the warm feedback from others, it makes us feel better about ourselves. And so by serving, by giving back, by spending time doing something that you might not normally do and seeing other people's responses to you being able to do that, again, it provides that noticeable difference than what you were experiencing before.
And then the other question that came in to ask on this is, what if somebody's saying, hey, Julie, I know it's the holiday. I want to stay positive, but I really would like to share with my family that I'm going through something. Do you think it's okay that maybe, would you suggest somebody doing a group setting or maybe pulling maybe one or two people they trust side by side? What would you maybe suggest?
And I think it would be dependent upon the individual and the
Okay.
family. But
Okay.
if your family is close, then having a group like, hey, I'm having a rough time. You don't have to explain what's going on, but just say, I might need some extra support. Or if your family isn't as close and there are some people that you feel safe with, hey, I'm going through this stuff. If you don't mind, I might need some extra support. But really, it is an individualized thing. And so it really depends on the family and the connection and the attachment that's there.
Thank you very much for that. And, we are coming upon the holiday season. It brings a lot of joy to a lot of people, but the summit brings the complete opposite. And, like Julie had mentioned, if so many things hit home for you and maybe you're like, I really might want to talk to somebody about some of this, please reach out to Julia or myself. We have resources on our Facebook page. But like also we mentioned, Julia has her own practice that's fully staffed. She does offer free consultations. And I stress this every week. It's okay not to be okay. It's okay to say, hey, I need some help. It's okay to say, hey, I just want to talk to somebody. And if you feel like that, reach out to myself, reach out to Julia. We're here for you. And like always, Julia, thank you so much. You take time away from your family, friends, writing, and everything just to be with me in the community and to do this. I appreciate you and thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll talk to you next week. Have a good one.
You too.